Okay, so my lean dough, my basic four dough, the dough that we're calling French bread, has had a chance to bench rest a little bit. I let it go just a little bit longer. I guess I'll let it go for maybe 30 minutes here. So it's sticking just a little bit. However, that's what flour's for. And remember, just enough flour so it's not sticking to stuff. So a traditional French bread, they're going to proof it in something that's called a couche, and that's C-O-U-C-H, and that's looks like a big burlap cloth, and they shape them and they put them in this, and then they pull them up, and so that this couche stands up and it has some rigidity to it, and it holds the bread in that shape as it proofs. Otherwise, the bread it kind of tends to widen out and it doesn't stay perfectly round. So I'm sure not everybody here has a couche. I do, of course, but I'm not going to use mine. We're just going to do some free-form shapes because not everybody's going to have the equipment. So I have just pulled it out. Don't rework it. If you find yourself fidgeting and you've reworked it, you need to stop and put it aside and let it rest. So I make kind of a basic rectangle like this. And I've pushed most of the air out of it. All right, so I line my fingers up like that is what I'm doing. And I'm going to roll this up so that when I roll it up, I'm going to end up down here. It's going to be about this long and about that big. And then I'm going to put it on my sheet pan. I have my sheet pan behind me and it has a little bit of cornmeal on it. I like cornmeal because it keeps it up off of the sheet pan just a little bit, allows a little bit of air to get underneath, and you get a good crust. So I'm going to do this. So I pull over and I push back. Pull over and push back. And I tuck it in so that I'm getting a good tight roll. And you can hear the little bubbles pop. So just do that to the ends just a little bit. Don't overwork it. So I'm going to take that one. That one looks pretty good. And I'm going to go to my pan back here. I'll bring the pan around in just a second. So let's take another one. Flatten it out, make a rectangle, start at the top and roll it and tuck, roll it and tuck, roll it and tuck. And then I end up with a good nice cylinder, and the seam is on the bottom. That's what the end looks like. And I just take it and I'll tighten the end just a little bit. But when it proofs out, it won't look like that. So take this and move this back here. So here's my pan. I want to make sure that I have my seam is on the bottom. I have a little bit of cornmeal on here to help it not stick and to help with the crust development. We don't want it all over it. So I'm going to lightly cover this with some plastic wrap, and I'm going to set it back here. I have my oven on, and then when it's about 80% proofed, or I'll show you what I'm looking for, I'll take my lame or my razor and I'll score these. I'll cut them. And the reason we cut them is because we want to give some fresh dough the space to expand when we put it into the oven. The dough on the outside will make kind of a skin, so it doesn't expand quite as quickly. And this gives the bread a place to expand and grow. So, and we like that direction. The other thing it does is it makes the bread look pretty. There's all kinds of videos on Instagram about chefs who go crazy with the razor blade scoring bread. It's very pretty. It's great artwork. And then one of the other practical reasons that we do scoring is if you have round loaves, and your round loaves, you have one that's whole wheat, one that's regular wheat, one that's sourdough, and one that has some kind of flaxseed or something else in it. If you put different scores on the top, your retail people can see that really easily. They know that the sourdough bull has 3 scores on it. So all they do is go to the rack, they see that one, they know that's the sourdough bull. So it's a nice identifier. So we're just gonna let this sit covered, and we're going to score them a little bit later. So we have these. And what we can do with these is just very gently, I'm going to do this with them, just round them, and I'm going to put them on a sheet pan like this, and we're going to put just a little bit of flour on top. And not a whole lot, because you don't want it to be caked on. But I'm going to let it proof like that. And then when it comes time to slash, I already have this on here, and where I slash is not going to have the flour. So we should hopefully get good contrast between where the flour is and where I cut with my lamb. So I'm going to go ahead and do this, make up the rest of them and pan them up. And then I'll show them to you right before they go into the oven when I slice them, or actually not when I slice them, but when I cut them with the lamb.